Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm just walking outside. I'm getting ready to meet some family that's in town, but it is a Saturday, so this is like my only day where I don't do client check-ins. So I am going to a show though later today for my client. It's actually here in Tampa. It's an OCB show, so meeting with my family first this morning, and then my client show is not, she probably won't go on stage till like mid-afternoon, so that's kind of nice. So I'm gonna drive over there afterwards. But welcome to the video. I don't really know what I'm gonna exactly show you guys. I don't even know if I'll get any footage from the show, but I want to give you guys a reverse diet update, and then I also want to do a little bit of like an Olympia kind of, I did a recap video my last YouTube video, but I want to do a little bit of like a reflection and do a little bit of a debriefing about like what I thought about who was rewarded. So stay tuned for that. Okay friends, full disclaimer, I did not do so hot with the recording today. So I don't even know what footage I have. I have the intro clip. I don't think I have anything other than that, but it is now the evening. I just got home from my client's show. She did so well. I'm so happy for her. She did the show last year before I started coaching her and did not place, and she placed in both of her classes this year, and it was just really fun to spend time with her. But I just got home, just pulled up, and I may film a little bit tonight, but if I don't, I'm gonna resume this vlog and do a take 2 in the morning, since I really did epically fail from my filming today. I didn't film anything, and you know what, that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta be present in the moment, not put pressure on yourself to do so, and that's exactly what I did. So I will see you guys in a bit. Good morning, friends. It's the next day. We're going to do a take 2 of this whole vlog situation. So I'm actually, well, I've got about 30 minutes. And I'm going to do this live Peloton class with my favorite instructor, Kendall. So this is how much I love you guys. I'm showing you guys a fresh post-cardio. I feel like I look like a mess, but I did want to just quickly show you guys or talk about something real quick. So finished my cardio, love my morning cardio. And I have been getting asked, I feel like a lot recently, I've been getting asked by clients like, Lexie, what are your thoughts on waist trainers? So I figured I would actually use this, clip to show you guys that I am wearing a waist trainer right now. It's not buckled all the way, whoops. But I wanted to talk quickly about waist trainers because I'm always fully transparent with you guys, and you know, this is one of those things, like I just started implementing a waist trainer, and so this is new, so I can't really speak on experience of like if it's doing anything, but generally what I always tell my clients is waist trainers are not going to shrink your waist. Like that is not what they're going to do. However, I don't think that there is harm in wearing one if you are a competitor, specifically to kind of teach you and essentially train your waist, or train your core muscles to engage and like hold themselves a bit, you know, in a more of a controlled manner. Do I really think, like, if you're not a competitor, do I think there is really any pro to wearing a waist trainer? No, I feel like you should save your money, honestly. I mean, could you wear one? Sure. But I truly think where the pros could potentially be is if you are a competitor and you just, you know, you want to work on core control, because the waist trainer, again, it trains the core. It kind of trains you to hold your abs a certain way or your core a certain way. So I don't want to sit here and tell you guys like, oh my gosh, it's a miracle worker, because like I said, it's something that I just started implementing. Like my routine is I'll do my morning cardio, and then I will change and I'll put on my waist trainer and wear it for a few hours every day. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm always very transparent, and you know, like I said, I can't really speak to if I think it really does anything drastic yet. Maybe I'll report back in a few months. But I'm just wearing one because I'm just, you know, kind of testing out the waters and experimenting, and I have gotten asked a lot by clients recently if I think that they should wear one, and my answer has been basically what I just told you guys. I don't think that there is a really big significance or pro to wearing one if you're not a competitor, because I see mainly the pros being that it helps just to train your core, which then transpires into your posing. So that's my little take on that. And like last little note is, I feel like you see a lot of like top level athletes promoting waist trainers, and they'll say things like, oh my gosh, my waist shrank, or look how small my waist is after 6 months of wearing my waist trainer. But at the end of the day, you guys, you also have to read into things a little bit further, and most of those people are usually sponsored by that company, and so of course they're gonna say, oh my gosh, this is a miracle worker. So that's why I'm just always here to like give you guys a very honest opinion. I don't have a code or anything for a waist trainer. I'm not sponsored. It's just something I'm experimenting with. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that, like I said, I always put it on post cardio. I'm just gonna wear it for a couple hours. Watching my girls, Sean and Jordan, on the Behind the Bikini podcast this morning with some tea. I know it's like, it doesn't look like much, but ooh, I hope I didn't. It's just spilled on my computer. But having some tea first thing this morning, it feels good on my stomach, and catching up with my girls. So I have a quick little side note that I wanted to put in this video because I was just having a conversation with one of my clients. She emailed me this morning about this, and I thought it was just like so worth mentioning in this video because I think everybody can like attest to this, or you know, I would assume that this comes up in everybody's life from time to time, especially those of you who watch my channel. And she was really annoyed because her husband made a comment about how, like, you know, not that like so moral story, she wanted to go to the gym in the morning, and she ended up going, but her husband was like, well, we need to get this stuff from Walmart. Her husband was kind of upset that like she was going to the gym before she was going to go get the groceries, right? So moral of the story is I wanted to make a little video clip because, you know, I think that all of us deal with people in our lives that, you know, maybe they act annoyed or upset that we're going to go to the gym, or like annoyed or upset that we're eating a different way than they're eating, right? And I think like when you really sit back and think about it, and you break it down from a psychological standpoint, you know, when you break it down to like, why are people shaming you and making you feel bad for doing something that's good for yourself, right? That's not harming them. And it really does come down from a psychological standpoint to, and this is at least what I believe, is a lot of times, like if somebody wants to give you crap for going to the gym or make you feel bad for going to the gym, like in hindsight, going to the gym is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You're doing something good for yourself. A lot of times I break it down to, okay, you're kind of reminding that person of something that they're not doing, right? A lot of times people who give us negative comments towards our lifestyle, or, you know, they complain like, oh, she's going to the gym again, or, oh, why are you eating that way? They say that because it makes them feel better about their own lifestyle choices, right? Like very rarely is another bodybuilder or another avid gym goer gonna ever tell you that, right? I know I would never sit here and tell somebody like, or make them feel bad for wanting to go to the gym and do something good for themselves, right? But a lot of times people who make those negative comments, what it comes down to is they're just very insecure that like they don't have the discipline to go to the gym. They don't have the discipline to eat the way you do. Therefore, they deflect that energy onto you, and it makes them in a weird way feel better by like making you feel bad for doing those things, right? So that's the way I look at it. So I think this is a really relevant thing to like talk about, especially with the holidays coming up. You know, a lot of times, you know, people you haven't seen in a while, whether it be family, whether it be friends, they may make these comments, or they may try to make you feel bad for deciding to eat a certain way, or heaven forbid you go to the gym for an hour, right? They may make you try to feel bad for these things when in hindsight, you're not harming anybody. In fact, you're doing something good for yourself. So a lot of times those comments just stem from their own insecurity, and they're just kind of deflecting that energy on you, and it makes them feel better about their own inability to go to the gym or eat the way you do, right? So I just wanted to put that nugget of information in this video because I thought it was really important to just talk about, because I think we can all attest to having people make comments about our lifestyle from time to time. It just happens. It's life. It sucks. It's annoying, but what are you going to do about it? When you break it down that way, it sometimes makes you feel a little bit better. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick. I am so sorry. My air fryer loves to chime at me. So little fun fact, if you like chocolate covered strawberries, you absolutely need to try this combination. So the PESCIENCE Reds and Blues, this is just like their Reds powder, micronutrient powder, and their chocolate greens, which you guys know I talk about this all the time. You should absolutely try mixing these two together in a little bit of ice water, and I kid you not, it tastes just like a chocolate covered strawberry in liquid form. Do not knock it until you try it. Somebody told me about this a while ago, and I was like, ooh, okay, it makes sense, right? So I got the reds because I don't normally get the reds, but I always have the greens, and I kid you not, it is legit a chocolate covered strawberry in liquid form. So mix these two together in ice water and be prepared to be mind blown. All right, we are off to Starbucks. I'm walking there right now. One, because I just want to get out of my apartment and do work there, sometimes it just feels good to like change up your location. And two, I have been telling myself for like 2 weeks now that I was gonna go treat myself to Starbucks, and I realized, like, conveniently, they're having half off drinks. Or I had like, I logged into my app and it said through today, you can get half off of your drinks. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna set up shop, work a little bit, and I'll show you guys the drink I've been obsessed with recently and how to track that if you want. But until then, I will see you at Starbucks. So here is what I got. Decaf Americano, 1 pump of pumpkin sauce, 2 sugar-free vanilla, and normally I get a light splash of almond milk, but they are out, so that kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? And then I always bring my liquid stevia and I add it into my coffee. So I love, love, love this drink. It's the perfect amount of pumpkin, and essentially it's a calorie-free drink except the pumpkin sauce is like 5 grams of carbs, I think. So if I really wanted to track this, it's like, which I do, I usually track it as like 7 grams of carbs between the pumpkin sauce and then like trace carbs from the Americano, if you really want to get technical. So anyways, I'm gonna sit here, do some work, got my backpack. Yeah. Okay friends, so now it's that part of the video where I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an update of where I'm at in my journey, a little reverse diet update, because I know I've had so many people reach out to me and tell me that they enjoy these updates because it makes them feel like better with where they're at in their journey, like if they're reverse dieting too, it helps for them to see somebody else going through it. So I'm gonna keep sharing them just because, if I know as cliche as it sounds, if it does impact one person out there, it's worth it. And I know in my past, years of reverse dieting, it always helps me when I can like follow other people who are in that same kind of phase that I'm at. But let's talk about this week's check-in. So I'll put my check-in pictures up above. And the ironic thing about this week's check-in is, I'll be very blunt and honest with you guys. The day I checked in with my coach, my weight had hit a point that I had not seen yet this reverse diet. So I had hit like a high, not the highest I've ever been or anything, but just the highest weight I have been so far this reverse diet, right? And so automatically I was kind of like, ugh, and then I took my pictures, and I don't know, I was just having one of those days where I just didn't love them. I was like, ugh, I was taking so many different pictures, trying to find the right lighting, the angle, but some days where you just take your progress pictures and you're just so in your head and you have these goggles, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna send these pictures in. Didn't love them, I'll be honest. These were the first set of progress pictures I just was like kind of like bleh about. Like I just didn't really love them. I know I don't look bad, it's just for me, I just didn't love the way I looked right in that moment. But it was one of those instances where I didn't want to check in, but I was like, what good is it gonna do if I don't check in, right? And I knew I was in my head, so I sent my check-in to my coach, and it was so ironic because I kid you guys not, in the check-in, he specifically said, Lexie, I think this is the best I've seen you look. And I was like, wait, what? I wasn't expecting that. And so it goes to show that, like, and I always preach this to my own clients, if you don't want to check in, like, if you only ever check in when you want to, you're not going to get where you want to get. Like, none of the best athletes out there check in only when they want to, or only when it's convenient, right? And in fact, a lot of times when we don't want to check in, we need those check-ins even more, right? And I tell my clients this all the time, because in my instance, like, I sent my pictures to my coach, I sent my check-in, and I was just kind of bleh, right? Feeling meh about everything. And he made me feel so much better with what he said. And so that is like, I was like, okay, I'm so glad I sent my check-in. Not that I was not going to, but so it's still an adjustment when I see weight go up. It's funny because you get comfortable seeing a certain number on the scale for a while. Like my weight, it'll kind of hover around the same number for like a week or so, and then I kind of get comfortable with that weight. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then the next time it goes up, I'm like, it's a little bit of that panic, right? And then the more I see that same number, the more I get comfortable with it. So it's just an adjustment phase, but I wanted to share that with you guys, and I wanted to share my pictures. He went ahead and just kept everything the same for this week, and I will skip my check-in this week because he's on vacation. So I'm gonna skip this week's check-in, not because like I'm choosing to do so, but because he's on a trip. So that is my weekly little update. Like I said, my weight is slowly trending up. I am still sitting at around 200 grams of carbs daily. So yeah, that's a little update from me, but I just knew that this past week I was having one of those weeks where I was really in my head, and I definitely had those goggles. I was not seeing myself clearly, and this is just a huge prime example as to why like I have a coach, and I know specifically, you know, as a coach, I know what to do, right? But it's so much harder to implement it on yourself. And plus, we always get goggles, and we always we can never see ourselves the way other people see us, right? So it's always nice to just have a coach to talk some sense into you, right, and tell you like it is. So I'm very grateful that I had Paul this week to tell me, to kind of lift my spirits up after I sent some pictures that I was kind of just feeling a little meh about. And like, little disclaimer, I know that in my pictures I don't look bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just being very raw in a sense of my subjectivity goggles got the best of me that morning, and I didn't like what I saw, and I knew that my vision was very distorted, and I knew that, so it helped to send a check into him and to get some positive words after that. So that's a little update of where I'm at in my reverse diet currently. Alright guys, so this is that part of the video where I'm going to do a little Coach Lexie reflection of the Bikini Olympia results. So I have this front picture, or front pose picture pulled up of the comparisons. So basically this is your top, let's see, we have top 8 here. So the clear winner here is Jennifer Dory, and she is 4th from the right, 5th from the left, she is in the green. Second to her was Maureen Blanquisco, who is to the left in the red, and 3rd was Ashley Kaltwasser, who is to the right of her in the green. And then 4th was Lauralee Chapados, who is to the left of Maureen, and 5th was Isa Piccini, who is to the right of Ashley Kaltwasser. So I think that, you know, Jennifer Dory is the clear winner here from the front. I'll show you guys the back shots here in a sec, because I do actually think Maureen Blanquisco did win it from the back, but I think that Jennifer Dory did win it here from the front. Now, one thing I want to make note of is Maureen, again, who is 4th from the right in the red, her tan was actually a little dark here, and now you'll notice that if you look at pictures from finals, so these pictures are from prejudging, she actually lightened her tan later in the night, but there is such thing as being too dark on stage, to the point where it kind of washes you out, just how being too light with your tan can wash you out as well. But I think that Jennifer Dory was the clear winner here in the front. She's got that tiny waistline, but she's got that really full round bubbly muscle to her capped shoulder delts, or not necessarily capped, but full round muscle bellies in her shoulders and in her glutes. She's not overly lean either. I do think she could stand to be a tad leaner in her lower body, but obviously that didn't hurt her here. She won above everybody. So that is kind of what I wanted to discuss in this front pose shot. I do think that, you know, Maureen looks amazing from the front as well, and I really do think when I was watching this first and foremost and firsthand, I thought that it really was going to come really close between Maureen and Jen, and I almost had Maureen winning, just specifically because I do find that in her back pose, she is winning from the back. So here in a sec, we're going to take a look at the back poses, because I really want to talk a little bit about that. But this is, again, your top 8 at the Bikini Olympia. It kind of cuts off the 2 girls on the side, but overall I think it's important to kind of look at your top 8 here and to kind of see the differences between each of the physiques. So moving right along here in a second, it's going to transition to the top 3 back poses. So here we have Jen on the left, we have Maureen in the middle, and we have Ashley on the right. So you can kind of see here what I mentioned about Maureen, being a little too dark, but also I personally think she won from the back. I just think her glutes are the most like full round, and she doesn't have too much conditioning in the hamstrings, but they did end up rewarding Jennifer Dory, and I do think that Jennifer Dory on the left could stand to bring her feet in a little bit closer. I do think that that would help a little bit too with the imbalance that she does have in her glutes here. And sometimes if you see girls with imbalances in their glutes in their back pose, it's just a matter of they need to actually practice their front pose on the opposite side as well, so that they don't kind of build up that imbalance in their low back, which can be easily fixable. But I did think, and I did have Maureen winning from the back, but Jennifer Dory obviously won from the front, and she is the one who took the #1 spot here for Miss Bikini Olympia. So and as you can see, all of these girls have a beautiful hourglass shape from the back, tiny waistline, big shoulders, or big round bubbly shoulders, and big round bubbly glutes that aren't too overpowering. And something I wanted to mention in this last clip here is you'll see Lauralee, who is in the middle here. So Lauralee is smack dab in the middle, and I wanted to point her out because I think a lot of people, myself myself included, were a little surprised with her placing here at the Olympia. She placed 4th, which is still amazing, but I think a lot of people actually had her winning before she stepped on stage. But the biggest thing here, and this was her feedback, is that her glutes are way too overpowering. As you'll see in this picture, that is the first thing you see on her, which is not necessarily bikini. That is not the bikini criteria. Bikini is balance, and although Laura Lee's glutes look awesome, they look really cool, they are just way too dominant and overpowering in her back shot. So it'll be interesting to see if she can downsize those a little bit and come back and do really well in an upcoming show. So that is my little bikini recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video.
Okay, so I'm just sitting here and realizing I didn't film an outro clip. So this is gonna be a very short and sweet outro clip to this video. I didn't wanna just like end it abruptly. So if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. Stay tuned for some upcoming awesome videos. I'm thinking I'm going to do a holiday gift guide for a fitness junkie in my next video, I think, or at least an upcoming video. So if you wanna see that, comment below. But I hope that wherever you guys are at in the world, you have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video.